on the sparkling shores of Lake Michigan, Chicago, the site for the third straight year of the Big Ten tournament. And we're off to a big start already. Last second victory in our first quarterfinal, Illinois over Indiana. Now quarterfinal number 2 set to go with Penn State at 14-14 and the top seeded 5th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Longtime assistant to Bruce Parkhill, their fastest head coach ever to the 50-win mark. And his starting lineup featuring Joe Crispin, who almost had himself a triple-double yesterday. 22 points, 20 in the second half, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. His brother John to the backcourt, Ivory, Stephens, Jackson up front. Ohio State featuring their scoring and rebounding leader, and that would be, of course, Michael Redd. First against Carl Jackson, and he easily wins it. It's back to Scooney Penn, and we're underway in quarterfinal number 2. Crispin right now floating, and he's got the non-shooting center, Ken Johnson. Reese to the hole for 2.
I'm telling you, he's playing an offensive factor, because I think that's what will help them go deep in the tournament.
Gives him about 8 points per game. Ivory for 3. Penn State not shy from deep. They have
for them, you know, is that third, if you will, it gives them an additional ball handler. They've been pretty consistent with it.
Jarrett Stephens, a soft touch on the hook. On a freshman, Joe through by Penn. 2-on-1. Red past Ivory and foul. That's 2 already on Titus Ivory.
Ivory played really well for them.
3 new Lions out there. Tyler Smith, Gyasi Cline-Heard, and Brandon Watkins, a 6-foot freshman point guard from Bellwood, Illinois. John Crispin spots Gyasi Cline-Heard, hammered by Ken Johnson. Far now he looks for his own 3-pointer. Reese with a spectacular tip. Ivory has returned after the 2 early fouls. Now they work it for Stephens' hook, and he gets the roll off. Nice soft touch.
And a nice post up in the paint. You let it.
That happened to Ohio State last year in the semis, knocked off by the 11th seeded Illinois. Dudley fighting for that loose ball, and with the shot clock down to 1 hit. Product. Recruited along with Brian Brown out of Brooklyn. Jarrett Stephens has 6.
And he went deeper for the second one.
And a reason that his shooting was so poor from a percentage basis, 38% for the year. Gyasi Cline-Heard's first points. For Penn, ball tipped away by Stephens to John Crispin. Pull up 3-pointer, rattles home.
That's a no. All right, we'll take that one.
Ohio State 7 straight misses. 8 straight as Brown can't get it. Buckeyes 30.5%, rebounding 9 apiece. Staying even as long as they can, the plan.
Yeah, they want to really kind of stretch their possessions to keep the ball out of Ohio State's hand.
Joe Crispin for 2. His first points, first lead. 2 more. Stephens with the backcourt steal. Timeout, O'Brien. It's a 13-0 run for the Nittany Lions. 7-minute mark and a half. All Penn State at the moment.
Anticipation by Jarrett Stephens. Bad for you, Clooney. And then gets the finish.
Titus Ivory.
Well defended.
3-pointer over Brown. Got it. His patient with George Reese, the way he's going.
No, offensively, he's very efficient.
He's got 10. Jump stop. Joe Crispin finds himself open.
But Jim O'Brien's got to be just miffed.
Reese from Penn. 0 for 6. 1 for 7. Scooney Penn finally on the board with the 3. Robinson. Penn. Another 3.
Too many opportunities.
Stephens for 3 points to answer and tie it up.
Oh, they'll call it on Gyasi Cline-Heard, which is a good call, but he actually, I thought the red traveled first. For Penn State. Oh, that's a tough pass. I'm telling you, they're lucky.
Cline-Heard from Stephens.
And you can see how explosive he was there, because Reese gets his game going. All-conference play, one of the best players you probably haven't heard about. Gets the ball right there. He plays 16 minutes, shows a little bit of versatility, steps out, knocks it down. Good, strong finish to the basket. Did a great job. Just didn't get it to go down.
Maybe that shot's coming back. Stephens set up by Crispin.
Penetration off the boot.
Keeping Ohio State on top. Red misses that three-pointer. Rebound Stephens. And that one counts and one. Cline-Heard finally
The miss.
Ivory picks up the loose ball, drops it down for Stephens.
Good job because he drew Johnson to him. And
Ivory, three-pointer number 3.
what he is confident about knocking down threes.
Reese, 2 more off the glass. 20. His second 20-point game against the Lions this year. High in the last game of the season, 25 at Minnesota. Count that one for Ivory and 1. Of the season in the first half, Ivory misses on the drive down to Red.
They better get back in transition. Oh, Ivory's knocked it loose. Oh, I thought he got away with a double dribble too.
Stephens scores. Reese bump. That's 4 on Stephens.
Yeah, that was a tough call. And Ivory
Not fair again for Penn, but another follow.
offensive rebound has been just the Achilles heel. So I don't think Jerry Dunn had a lot of choice. And Johnson's actually defended Stephens pretty well.
Penn to shoot. Ivory taking it in on Red. Tough right-hand runner. Titus Ivory is big on three-pointers and still ahead by 3.
Got it.
Ivory got inside of Penn. 2 more.
He ball.
Penn down the lane, not even close on the layup. That kind of day for Scooney. Cline-Heard, Crispin go for it. And Hightower has to make the call, and he says keep it on this end.
Been that kind of day for the Nittany Lions. Can't seem to catch a break.
But they are out of bounds play, and Ed Hightower said it did touch Crispin. Let's see.
The ball goes there. It looks like it hits the shoulder of Brown. And he and Crispin couldn't believe that the call was made against him. But it's been that kind of night. But you know what? All things considered, you still have a tied ball game with 2:49 to go.
Yeah, tell them they have that before this game starts, and they'll take to Ohio State. They inbound to Red. Flushed down by Johnson.
Johnson finally showed up to help on the offensive side with that one.
Ivory, much as anybody, the man this half. Crispin, a three-pointer at last, his first of the day.
He was waiting to get one over by the bench.
For Penn State since 11.5 minutes to play. Tough call here, too. 4 on Cline-Heard. He thought he had Red stripped.
Well, I thought he might have had him, too. It's a tough play. It really is a tough play. Tough one to call. Does he get the ball?
Yes,
that's all balls. That is all ball.
He ought to argue. So should Jerry Dunn. Ivory falls away as Red loses his footing just a little bit. That's all Titus Ivory needed. 17. Penn scoreless this half. Cline-Heard does get that timeout, and that's their last timeout. Had to call it in midair. Got the steal. Now they're without a timeout, but they have the ball in a 1-point lead.
But Crispin doing a good job making Brown stay away from outside the 6-foot range, so there's no 5-second call. Now they've got to go make a play.
7. 5
on the
shot clock. Middle opens up for Ivory from nowhere. Stephens. Johnson came out on Ivory. Stephens cleans it up. Timeout, Buckeyes.
Right there, Scooty Penn went for the shot, and now you put your team in trouble defensively. Johnson comes to get the block, and his man is Stephens, and Stephens gets the finish to give his team a 3-point lead. But there's still a lot of time, 1:04. Long time, no timeouts. Ohio State with the ball.
Bumping it on the line bench. 21 points, 11 rebounds now for Stephens. Set goodbye, you'd think. 46 seconds. Brown for a 3. Another miss. Volleyball. Cline-Heard comes away with it. Crispin is fouled with 41.5.
I'm going to tell you what was big about the play on Cline-Heard. He is not a good foul shooter. He got the rebound. He was looking in the air for somebody to get it to, and Crispin was the guy there.
Crispin, the best free throw shooter in the Big Ten this year. 89%, his first of the day. 7th best in the country. Sarah and Cliff, grandparents, looking on. Last one made it a 2-possession game. This one for a 5-point lead. 41.5 seconds. Biggest of the day for the Lions. Penn won't pick it up till midcourt. Scooney Penn on the drive. Finally.
I mean, if he's still got the ball and he's in the throwing motion, that's one thing. But that ball was almost off his fingertips when he got fouled.
13 for Joe Crispin. 9 in the second half. He's hit all 4 free throws. Back off Johnson. John Crispin the steal. Foul by Johnson. 26 seconds. Penn State fans feeling it. The upset that close.
I mean, I knew that Johnson wasn't going to catch that because the pass was too.
Fans jumping out of their seats.
Well, hey, this makes for a successful season for this team. They get another game, and they with a win here.
Gets them over 500. John Crispin good on the second. 69-63 in the double bonus.
I mean, they know he's because it was in front of me. Now, see, Cline-Heard can come back in the game. That's why Smith is in. He may not be a good foul shooter, but he's a better shooter than Cline-Heard.
He's a lot better.
Good job right there. They got him using up time. They've used already 6 seconds.
Penn finally with the 3. Another miss. Stevens ahead to John Crispin. 6 seconds. Penn State knocks off the top seed co-champion Ohio State, and they reach the semifinals.
Here's a team that just struggled all year that you can't believe put this thing together, made some shots, got it going, and Ohio State, I thought, came out without their game early, and Penn State took it to them.
Big surprise in our second quarterfinal. 9th seed over the top seed. Again, our final 71-66 Penn State. For Quinn Buckner, Dave Barnett. Sending it back to Bill Pito in the studio.